What is going on, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be going through my Heisman top 10 for the 2025 college football season. My number 1 to number 4 will be my prediction for the Heisman finalist, but 5 to 10 will just be the other guys that I think have the best shot at winning the Heisman trophy. And before we get into my Heisman top 10, I want to give a shout out to two players who didn't make my top 10, but they are electric players for their team and might be the best players on their offenses. Those guys are Ryan Williams at Alabama and also Kenyon Sadiq at Oregon. Everybody's hyped up on Ryan Williams, but also watch out for Sadiq. He's probably going to be the most targeted player for that Oregon offense, and he is super athletic. Just look at what he did against Penn State last season. He scored 2 touchdowns, had a highlight play. He's a very athletic tight end, and he's Oregon's best tight end talent in a very long time. And of course, Williams had over 800 yards as a true freshman, a guy to watch out for. None of them made my top 10. I just wanted to shout them out because it is very possible to see another non-quarterback win the Heisman Trophy this season. But without further ado, let's get into my official top 10. At number 10, I have Arch Manning, Texas quarterback. Manning almost didn't make this list because I think Texas will be more of a run-focused team, and also the defense is very good. So I think a lot of the attention really isn't going to be on Arch Manning, but this Texas team is dangerous. I just don't think Texas has a super deep receiving core, and Arch Manning will have to put up big numbers, and I just don't see it. Ryan Wingo is a young freshman, but he didn't have the most crazy season last season. And DeAndre Moore's back, but they lost some of their top talented receivers. The offensive line loses a lot as well. He may be one of the betting favorites to win the Heisman Trophy, but I'm not buying it. And right now, I just don't see Texas being a team that produces the Heisman winning quarterback. I only have Arch Manning at number 10. Number 9, I have Florida quarterback DJ Lagway. The dude has massive potential, but there is a huge question on if he can stay healthy. And does he have the wide receiver talent to back him up? I do think he has some guys. They do return Eugene Wilson. The true freshman Dallas Wilson could go off. Lagway is primed for a breakout 2025 season. He went 6-1 in his last 7 season starts for them. He had 12 touchdowns as well. He's got one heck of an arm. But I just have questions on if he can stay healthy, and the gauntlet schedule could definitely wear him down. I don't see Lagway being one of my favorites, but he has a high ceiling. I have him at number 9. Number 8, I have John Mateer. Similar to Cam Ward, he went off in that Washington State offense. He took a step forward to a bigger team, and he ended up having an excellent season. But John Mateer transferring to Oklahoma is a much different story than from Cam Ward transferring to Miami. Oklahoma is a team that was miserable on offense last season, and Mateer will have to go up against some of the best defenses in the country. And can he do it at the SEC level when he was playing against mediocre Mountain West teams before? I still love John Mateer's skill set regardless of what talent he was playing against. The dude was phenomenal. He had 3,100 yards and 29 touchdowns. He was a very consistent passer. He also had a ton of yards on the ground. And if Oklahoma can put it together around John Mateer, if this team could be a contender, they are going to be dangerous, and Mateer will be in the Heisman Trophy conversation. So just because of that, I do have him at number 8. Number 7, I have Dante Moore, the 5-star quarterback coming up for Oregon. Look, do I really know much about Dante Moore? Not really. I know he's talented. I know he showed some good things this spring. But we really don't have a lot of insight on who he is going to be. Is he going to be a huge step back from Dylan Gabriel? I don't know. But one thing I do know is that Will Stein is an excellent offensive coordinator. He might be the number 1 offensive coordinator in the sport. And Oregon has already had 2 quarterbacks that have been Heisman finalists, in Dylan Gabriel and also Bo Nix. Dante Moore is a 5-star. He's got a big arm. If he can put it together, there's no reason he can't be a Heisman finalist and a potential Heisman winner. Oregon is always producing good offensive talent, and I like the receivers as well. I know they lost Evan Stewart to injury, but Ryan Moore could be a 1,000-yard receiver as a true freshman. Malik Benson could be really good. They also got Gary Bryant Jr. coming back off of injury. And of course, Kenyon Sadiq, I already talked about him. Dante Moore has weapons to throw to, and he could have a big year. I have him at number 7. At number 6, I have Drew Aller. Does Drew Aller have the potential to win the Heisman Trophy? I don't know. But a really improved receiving core gives him a chance at least. I do think they're going to run the ball a lot this season with Nick Singleton and Kaytron Allen, so that might take some of the pressure off of Drew Aller. But when they need to rely on him, I think he could get the job done. Trevor Penna, Kyron Hudson, and Devontae Ross are all excellent transfers. I think Penn State is going to have one of the most improved receiving cores in the nation, and Drew Aller took a step forward under Andy Kolodnicki last season. He threw for 3,300 yards with a completion percentage of 66.5, a lot better than 2023. He threw 24 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. It was alright, but next season could be a massive step forward. He might be the most experienced quarterback in the sport, and I really love the receivers that they picked up, so watch out for Drew Aller. I have him at number 6. Lenore Sellers is just the prodigal quarterback who could win a Heisman Trophy. It makes sense for him to win the Heisman Trophy, but I can't have him as a finalist because I just don't trust the offensive talent around him. But this dude is so physically gifted. He's a 6'3", 245-pounder. He combined for 2,900 yards and 24 touchdowns. He really led them to a great season. He went 8-3 in his first season as a starter for them. He just needs to improve in his passing game, but the dude is a monster dual threat quarterback, and he's hard to stop when he's running the ball. I've seen the spring buzz, the dude is going off, so watch out for Lenore Sellers. Hopefully his talent around him steps up on offense. I have him at number 5. Now we move on to my actual prediction for the Heisman finalist. At number 4, I think Jeremiah Love will be a Heisman finalist. I think we're going to have another year with a couple of non-quarterbacks in the Heisman Trophy race. And Love is a guy I love, no pun intended. He really emerged last season with 1,100 yards and 17 touchdowns. Riley Leonard ran the ball a lot last season, but he is gone, and CJ Carr is a more pass-focused quarterback. Jeremiah Love also has Jadarian Price to back him up. Notre Dame's going to be running the ball a lot, and I think Love is going to get even more carries next season. And I think CJ Carr is going to be a better passer than Riley Leonard. So Notre Dame could pass the ball, and then the defenses could back off, and boom, you got a big touchdown for Jeremiah Love. The dude can go off. They might have the best offensive line returning in the country. And I really think Riley Leonard being gone opens up the door for Jeremiah Love, and it's going to be another big year for him. And I do think he's going to end up being a Heisman finalist. I love the offensive line. I love Jeremiah Love at running back, and I love the offensive coordinator. So yeah, I have Jeremiah Love at number 4. At number 3, I have Garrett Nussmeier, LSU quarterback. The dude threw for 4,000 yards last season. He was pretty consistent. He just needs to cut back on turnovers. He had 12 interceptions, which was the SEC's worst last season. But he certainly has the talent next season. Nick Anderson is a highly coveted receiver, and they also add Barry Brown, one of the fastest receivers in the nation. They got 2 reliable guys out of the portal, and they return Aaron Anderson, one of the top receivers from last season. Nussmeier can sling the ball deep, and we know how LSU is with producing quarterbacks. They've had multiple Heisman winning quarterbacks. Nussmeier could be the third on that list. He's got an arm. He's probably going to throw for over 4,000 yards next season. I think LSU is going to be a really good team as well, so that could definitely help him out. I think we see Garrett Nussmeier be a Heisman finalist. I have him at number 3. And at number 2, I have Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik. This Clemson team might just have the best receiving core in the nation, and that helps Klubnik. He could easily win the Heisman Trophy, but regardless, I have him at number 2. Last season, he was top 10 in passing yards with 3,600 yards on 63% passing. He also threw for 36 passing touchdowns and really cut back on turnovers with only 6 interceptions. He is getting up there in the record books for Clemson and a quarterback to watch out for. Clemson returns 3 very reliable young targets at wide receiver. They also add a transfer in Tristan Smith, who had led the team in receiving, and they returned one of their top receivers from 2023 in Tyler Brown, who got injured last season. They are 5 deep at wide receiver, and Cade Klubnik is going to sling the ball. They have a true freshman running back, so I think that's going to put more pressure on Cade Klubnik, and that passing offense is going to go off. But at number 1, my actual prediction to win the 2025 Heisman Trophy is Jeremiah Smith. I think for the first time in a very long time, we see 2 non-quarterbacks win the Heisman Trophy back-to-back seasons. I think we only saw a glimpse of what Jeremiah Smith could be last season. Just look at what he did in the playoffs. And he had 1,300 receiving yards, 15 touchdowns on 76 receptions all year. Emeka Egbuka is gone. Connell Tate and Brandon Ennis are both guys to watch out for, but Smith is going to be the number 1 target. And Julian Sayin honestly might be a better passer than Will Howard. They also lost 2 very good backs, so they might rely on the passing game more. Knowing how it went at the end of last season, Smith was going off. And I think year 2 for Jeremiah Smith is going to be even better. I think he is going to have crazy numbers and shock the world. I really think Jeremiah Smith is going to win the Heisman Trophy. Ohio State is wide receiver university. It's about time they have a wide receiver win the Heisman Trophy in recent memory, and I think Jeremiah Smith does it this season. But anyways, that is my top 10 for the Heisman Trophy in 2025. You guys let me know who you are picking to win the Heisman Trophy down in the comments below. And let me remind you guys to like the video and also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then you'll love this channel because we upload a ton of college football content and we basically cover everything on this channel. So definitely consider subscribing and also consider checking out my socials down in the description below. And that is going to do it, guys, and peace out.